trucks to parachute planes. Let's see where we drift to, buffers in reverse, road signs wrecked. It's CKSM gaming time. Driving trains, trucks to parachute planes. Let's see where we drift to, buffers in reverse, road signs wrecked. It's CKSM gaming time. Driving trains, gaining the stations, forgetting to stop. Driving through red lights, bad buffer stops. It's time for CKSM gaming. CKSM gaming time. CKSM gaming. Driving through stations, forgetting to stop. Driving through red lights, bad buffer stops. It's time for CKSM gaming.
Good afternoon everyone, welcome back to another stream. Back on Train Sim World 5 today. Going to be doing one of my free roam streams where I just put a train down and drive along a route and to see what happens. Today I'm going to be on a route that I haven't really driven that much, which is the Peak Valley line. Now this is a route that is set in the steam era, so there was a lot of steam locomotives, but as you know I'm not very good at driving steam, so I'm going to be using another mode of transport on this route today. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the route itself and see where we're going to be starting from. So as you can see, the era for this route is obviously not modern times. By the vehicles that you can see, a nice old red telephone box over there, and some old Morris Minor over there, for example. Not very good with the other vehicles, unfortunately, but I'm sure some of you who are watching might know. Anyway, we're here at Buxton, and we're using a Pacer today, but one with a sort of livery. Yes, I know it says Blackpool Transport, but it's been borrowed. I just like the livery. It was kind of I don't know, just seemed to suit the era a bit better. Katie liked the livery the other day as well when this appeared in I think it was in the West Coast Main Line over Shap stream as one of the Pacers that was driving up and down as the in service mode. So not bad. I got the titles all set up already. The special livery, the special head code, I mean destination. It's a very nice little route this, if you like your steam engines and things. It's not full of services, but there are obviously steam engines that you can drive. There's a nice little cat down there I'm going to leave alone. Some nice signs and some Mark 1s and some luggage left scattered around as well. Well, it looks like I just stacked the cases there. I guess that's one of the things that you can do. So anyway, here we are. So we're at Buxton, which I think is where the water comes from, isn't it? You can get Buxton water. I'm sure there's other things you can get at Buxton as well. You can get some XP points here. I don't know. Obviously some... oh, there's a steam engine over here. Look, let's quickly have a look at this. I know if Egbert's watching, he'll like to see a bit of steam engine for a change in a game, rather than just all the modern stuff. So here we are, we have a train just over here, which looks like it's a 4F. Just sitting here. This is one of the trains you can do in LMS colours. Now there is another Buxton station over here as well, but this one is slightly off limits. I think 2 train companies were using Buxton at the time. So this is obviously pre-nationalisation, I suppose. But yeah, you could use, although that's in British Railways colours, so there you go. Who knows? But if I look at the map, it says this is Buxton LNWR, and then this is Buxton Midland. So there's 2 separate train stations, and if you do a free roam from here, you can't really get around to the line that I'm going on, because it kind of goes off in that direction. So there is some sidings over here though, so you can kind of get access to both stations. Hello Egbert, welcome. Just having a quick look at a train here before we go. Looks like, as I said, it's a 4F. This is not what we're driving, by the way, so don't get too excited. But just quickly showing around Buxton railway station before we do the free roam. You was very excited. Yeah, well, I think the stream would end up going a bit like the shunter did earlier. It would end quite quickly. But anyway, we're having a quick look around here. Now you can drive this route in TrainSim Classic, but the more modern version, if you get one of the Just Trains Midland Main Line extensions. I think that's got the Peak Valley route. Then your bubble burst. Well, you still will probably see some steam engines, hopefully. I mean, we are running in the timetable modes, but I know that this line isn't mega busy with trains either, so if we're lucky we might pass a steam train service at least whilst we're on the way. Yeah, anyway, so here's the train here, the Pacer with the green and white livery. This is the route map here, so we're at Buxton, just up here, and we're going to be free roaming down through Millersdale, Bakewell, down towards Ambergate, and then that'll be where the free roam ends at Ambergate, and you can see the lines go off to Derby, Chesterfield, to Piebridge, and then also you got Peak Forest here and the line towards Manchester and Sheffield, but we won't be doing that part. We'll be just going along from Buxton down. So I think it's about 20 miles or so, so we'll stop at some of the stations along the way as well. As I said, this does say Blackpool Transport on it, but I think it was just that I had a Pacer in my livery list that had green in it, and I thought, well, that might be quite nice to put in. Maybe a darker green might have been nicer, but anyway. So yeah, just have a quick wander around Buxton Station quickly before we head off. There are some nice posters over here. We've got some, what's that, Bakewell tarts there? Well, there we go. That's all gone. London for your holidays. Does that look like London? I suppose it does look like one of the bridges, doesn't it? That looks a bit like someone's done that in AI to myself, but Wales for your holidays. And then we got Scotland for your holidays. We've got a nice picture of the bridge there with a what sort of train is that again? That's the 6600031. Which one is that one? I don't think it's not the Mallard, is it? It's one of the other ones, but we got some different posters over here. Anfield. Oh, if Kev Welford Gaming was here, we'd be very pleased to see that. The Merseyside Derby. No football club is successful without hard work. And then it's got an H. Oh no, hang on. There was a bit of dirt on the poster. Golden Plover. That sounds a bit like butter. Anyway, we're just having a quick look at the posters. Chewy fruit gums. I've seen some of these posters before somewhere. Oh look, they spelt sap wrong. Never mind. It's nearly spelt properly, isn't it? At least you can still get sap points on here. You have 600030 golden fleece in 0 gauge, golden plover. Yeah, I wondered if you were meaning the name of the train in the poster. Anyway, so yeah, Blackpool Transport, it's on hire. So please, before you wibble in chat, don't forget this is just a game. It's not real life. And if I've broken your immersion, I'm very sorry. You can watch someone else. Anyway. Right. Anyway, free roam and a pacer time. It's all set up. No wibble here, it's a pacer. Oh, I didn't mean from you, Sap. I'm just saying in general, you know. It's a bit like when you watch a flight sim stream. There's always someone that has to say that something isn't right. But it's, you know. Oh, I had the window open anyway, CK. Right, anyway. At least there isn't a timetable that I've got to follow here, so I should mainly be on time, I think. Is there anything else I've forgotten, by the way? So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to be driving down towards Ambergate and then stop at some of the stations along the way, see how it goes. I don't know, we are running on the service timetable, but I know this route doesn't have a lot running on it, so we'll just have to see how it goes. Hopefully we'll pass some trains along the way, but I really don't know. So hopefully we will, but if not, hopefully there'll be some bits and pieces in the sidings and stuff to keep us entertained as we head down towards Ambergate, which I think I'm going to go to this platform here, which I think is platform 6, and then probably park it in a siding to end the stream. Your mum had an immersion heater. I think we've had one too as well at some point. Right. I think although I was too big to immerse myself into it, especially in the winter. Alright, anyway, as always, because this is a service that I'm driving, we don't have any passengers, so... Oh, hang on. Be better if I actually press the right button. Right. Have I put it into forward, CK? There we go. Right, let's get going, shall we? Yeah, so it's 23 miles to Ambergate, so... At least there's a lot of like the jointed track on this route, so the pacer should be bouncing up and down a bit, which is quite nice. I might stick myself on the front here as well, so we can kind of get the track view. But I think it'd be nice to go inside the train sometimes just to get the suspension effect. Right, I'm just going past the old signal box. Have you seen much of this route before, Egbert? You probably haven't, have you, really? Not at all. It's not a bad route. As I said, I think I mainly bought the route in the sale because there was some enhancement packs for Train Sim World, like mods that were using some of the foliage and the vegetation for this route. So that was the main reason why I bought the route, really. It was just for that. A bit like, you know, like we all do sometimes for Train Sim Classic, you know, there's a freeware route that comes out that looks really good, and then you end up buying lots of routes that you don't really need, but you just need them for the assets. So, but that's not saying it's a bad route, but it was just sort of like, you know, not a route that I kind of really fancied myself. I mean, for you, Egbert, for example, this is a route that you'd probably love to have in TSW because it's all steam era and there's steam trains in it and freight trains and shunting and, in free roam mode you can basically do what you like. You can get a steam engine and hook up some wagons somewhere and take them for a drive somewhere. If you got the Thomas the Tank Engine DLC, you can use that in free roam. You could get Thomas and use this route as backdrops for from picture stories or something, you know, where you take screenshots and you know, make up a story or something. So I mean, there's lots of nice things about this route if you want that sort of thing. But I was just thinking about it the other day. I was thinking, you know what, I haven't really played this route much, and I can do a free roam in a pacer. And I know that you like to sometimes watch my streams, and other people do, and you don't really see enough steam engines. I mean, you brought it up today, for example, in my earlier stream about, you know, you didn't really see a lot of steam engines in these things, and I thought, well, maybe I'll do a free roam, and then you might see some. Of course, in a perfect world, you know, you'd probably want me to be driving the steam engine, but I know that I'd probably make the stream only last about 10 minutes before something chaotic happened. So I wanted this stream to last. But as I said, you can get this a modern version of this route, which is covered by the one of the Just Trains Midland Mainline extension packs that you can get. Well, what we'll be doing as well is I'll be stopping at some of the stations along the way, even if it's like a little halt or something, just to sort of like have a quick look around it. You've got some industry here, got a couple of wagons, a brake van type thing there as well, like a colliery or something, some sort of industry anyway. So there's already places that if you wanted to go around and pick things up. This is quite an old route now. I mean, it's not an old route. I think this route came out with TSW5, I think, possibly. So sometimes in a sale you can probably get this for half price, or even sometimes if it's one of those ones that they sometimes do for like 70 or 80% off, it might be able to pick it up then. It comes with a couple of steam engines if I remember as well, so I think you get like a mainline train that's obviously for the passenger stuff, and then you get like a smaller train which is used for the freight things. I mean, you could sort of imagine what this would look like if I'd put the snow on it a bit later, you know, with the snow and everything in the valley. But I think it was because a lot of people like the vegetation and foliage in this route, so some people were making mods using these, so if you didn't have this add-on installed, then you couldn't use a mod. It might have also been for the ballast track textures and stuff as well. So it got the old signal boxes and bits and pieces over there. Of course, don't forget, you know, I'm not really doing the route justice on my PC as well, because I think I have some settings turned down because of, you know, so I'm not running everything on the best, and I'm not running those ini file pack things either, which can make the game draw in things from further away and all that sort of stuff. Just grabbing lunch, no worries. Right, we're just stopping at the first station anyway, we're hoping to, although I might have overcooked it a bit. We might be alright though. So this looks quite a small station, like a halt. Sort of reminds me a bit like that station that's on the Rewry lines, the pub one, when you literally just stop at a small little station here. So there we go. So we'll just have to open one of the doors. Well, it opens all the doors, but you know what I mean. Beware of trains, I like that. Let's have a quick look around here. The old telegraph poles or whatnot. Now I'm sure on Creators Club someone's done some nice pacer liveries which don't have Blackpool written on them, but these are some of the ones I had. I think I downloaded this just so that when I was playing the Blackpool branches there was just a few more liveries driving around when I was playing it. I don't know if Blackpool Transport was a fictional. I think this might be based on the bus livery. Maybe Blackpool had buses that had Blackpool Transport on and this was the colour of the buses. I'm not sure. Hence why someone did this livery. But I don't know if this is a fictional livery in regards to, you know, what trains might have had years ago. Probably not. Probably is fictional. But anyway, Katie liked this livery actually when she saw it the other day. She said it reminded her of some mints that she used to get. I was trying to think of the name of them actually. You could get like these soft mints. A bit like opal fruits, but they weren't opal fruits, but they were in the same sort of packaging. But they were like mints instead. And I know what she means, I just can't think of what they were called. Right, anyway, so that's that. We'll do the little buzz and then we'll head off towards the next station. Now what I'll probably do in another stream in the future is I'll probably do a free roam going from Ambergate all the way up towards the other top half of the route, which is the part of the route that we're not doing today. But that'll be for another time. It's good that I also picked the pacer that had the gearbox where you go through the gears, not the sort of later version of gearbox or motor or whatever it was. The only thing this route's missing now is it, because it's an older route, you don't have the tunnel or bridge occlusion sound effects, which is a shame, because I think when you go under some of the bridges in the pacer and hear the sound of the train echoing would have been quite nice. But it's obviously not a simple thing to do, is it really? Because otherwise you'd think that a lot of the routes would have them already, even the backdated ones. And it's not obviously something the community can do quite easily either, otherwise there'd be sort of mods out there already where they could add the occlusions to tunnels and bridges and things already. So if it's not something that the game devs don't do themselves, then obviously you don't get to hear it. But you never know, you might add it one day. Let's go on to the roof this time. Although actually no, I know this route's a bit funny with collision detection. Sometimes I can be here and when I go in a tunnel it moves the camera because it sort of collides with it, which is really weird. Because I thought, well, being down this low I'd be quite safe, but I did drive another train in free roam yesterday and it was going a bit mad. It seems to be alright on this one. I think I was driving the 158 yesterday, you know, in East Midlands livery. And I'm not exactly speeding along this route either. I'm just taking my time with it. Just want to take in the scenery and whatnot. I know this is quite a nice route to drive in Train Sim Classic when we go along part of this with the tunnels and things. Just trying to look down then, but of course I forget that I'm actually. But I've got the headlights on. I think the camera moved then because my camera was way off then. I think it seemed to move the camera to the right a bit there. Right, we've got another station coming up in a minute, so have a look at that one. I'm actually preferring the cab view really, because then you sort of get the you can kind of sense the, you know, the pacer bouncing up and down on the track type thing as well. So although it is nice to have it in the other view as well, but see, this is a bigger station coming up now with all the station buildings and things. But yeah, Egbert, you know, if you ever see this route on a sale, pick it up. I think you'd have a lot of fun with it. You know, there's all the water towers and all sorts of things that you could do with it. And there's wagons scattered around, or you could always place wagons yourself in the siding, and then you could just do your own free roam, being free roam heaven in a way. Right, we'll just come out here. Have a quick look around this station. As I said, I haven't really looked much at this route really. So this is Millersdale. So there's a lot of posters around, like we had at Buxton, some milk churns and things. Another picture there of the Scotland with the A4 and some flowers. There's probably some collectibles here, there and everywhere as well. Here I think might be one of them. Is this the one where it tidies up the luggage? No, or was it this one? I know one of them it does something with the luggage, but yeah, Millersdale for Tideswell. Some nice little assets around here as well. Kind of miss all this, you know, but it's always good that you can go to a heritage railway, you know, and you get you see a lot of these kind of things out and about, don't you, on the platforms, you know, all these kind of things here, and the signage and everything. Saying that though, when I was even around, when I was a kid, there really wasn't a lot of the things that you see nowadays in a railway, although, you know, even back in the 70s, you know, you used to see like these things where people could stack parcels and stuff, and these sort of you know, things here, trolleys and that were scattered around. And then there was always the Nestle chocolate vending machines up on the wall somewhere that you could get like a Dairy Crunch and all that sort of stuff, putting in like some coins. So there's the old subway here. So this station's got quite a few platforms, which is quite cool. I'm hoping while I'm just walking around we'll get a train coming or something, but as I said, this route is very quiet as regards to other trains on it. I mean, there are services that run, but it's certainly not going to be like London to Brighton or anything. So we'll see what happens. Like a chocolate bar today, indeed. I'm trying to think what else they used to have at the stations, didn't they? Sometimes they used to have chewing gum ones for Wigglies and that. And then they used to have the cigarette ones as well for cigarettes. Although they mainly used to be in the lavatories, didn't you? Do you remember you used to go into the lavatories, and sometimes they'd have the ones for the things like condoms, and then also things like cigarettes and stuff. And then obviously at some point it was like, you know, all the laws changed, and then you had to get them from shops and stuff. But I'm going back way back with the cigarette machines. In fact, I could even be fantasizing about that. It could be like another country that I've been to where they had cigarette vending machines, but chewing gum and Nestle and all that sort of stuff they had out. I think they also had one for Cadbury's as well, didn't they? You could get dairy milk in, and Bourneville and all that sort of stuff. Right, anyway, let's get back on the train, and then we'll head back off down to the next line along the route, which is wherever. Oh, I didn't have the desktop audio on. Sorry about that, everybody. I just realised. So you haven't really been hearing any train sounds for a while. Apologies for that. Anyway, I've sorted it now. Right. That's a bit silly. That was a bit divvy of me, wasn't it? Should be right now. Hopefully you'll hear the train sounds. It's never a stream that goes by without something wrong. Right. Now, of course, some of you could have said, well, I could have driven a Class 101, for example, on this route. And then, because obviously there is a DLC that's coming out for this route, which is based on the Generation 1 DMU. I think it might be the Class, is it the 105 maybe, or the 115 they're doing? Someone's doing a DLC for this route, so, and then a passenger timetable, so it has DMU on the timetable. That'd be quite interesting. But I don't know what happened to that DLC, because they announced it like months and months ago. So I'm not sure what's happening with it. I can't even remember who the dev was that was doing it. I know there's a Pacer one coming out for the Cardiff City line, which is what the Just Trains are doing, I think. This one was different. This DMU one was for this. Wow, I'm really low down here, aren't I? Now I could be doing 60 along here, but as I said, I'm just taking it easy. I mean, 18 miles doesn't seem a lot, does it really? But if you're just doing a stopper, and it's quite hilly as well, so there's probably lots of uphill and downhill sections as well, isn't there? So it must be quite fun to drive in a steam engine. With the hills and things. It'd be nice if at some point in free roam mode they can have it so that passengers can board the train and then just randomly get off at some stations or whatever. That'd be quite fun. Little row of houses down there. Welcome back, Egbert. Got the sounds up now. I'd realised that I had the sounds for the game muted, so I've just unmuted them now, so hopefully you should hear the train in the background now. Hopefully it's not drowning out my voice, because for the train spotting streams I've changed the audio levels because I'm not talking in those, so people can hear the trains a lot more. So I'm hoping that my voice isn't being drowned out by the sounds of the background. Thank you, Egbert. So there's a station here, but I don't know if it's a disused one, but we'll stop here anyway. It's not showing on my HUD, so... Oh, is it on our platform? Is it on our side? Oh yeah, there is a station here, but I think it might be... Oh, there's a steam engine coming, Egbert. Let's have a look at this, shall we? While we're making the most of the steam engine. Might as well, while we're here. get back to the train itself. Let's have a quick look here. Oh, I didn't open the doors, did I? Numpty. Can't get the staff, can you? So yeah, very basic station this. Look at that elevation thing there. This is the Monsall Dale. It's interesting why it didn't show up on the HUD though. Just think if this was a SAP scenario, there'd probably be some like a cow sitting in a rowing boat down there somewhere, or a cow fishing, or something else going on somewhere. A cow sitting in a speedboat. Yeah, it looks a bit. It's a bit like a bit run down round here, isn't it? This is what a run down station was like years ago. No graffiti anywhere. Right, anyway, let's get back on the train. I don't even know if this station's in use anymore. Maybe it had like one service a day or something. Right, let's get on to the next station. Just wakes everyone up in the valley. Although they should all be awake anyway at 12:48, but you know, maybe someone's been up all night doing a night shift. And, yeah. They were having a nice sleep. We've got some children on our train. They always seem to leap on in the afternoons, causing chaos. It's only trouble, Egbert, when it's the school holidays and your mansions on the National Trust. You see, you know, people come to visit your house in the summer months. I mean, at least the lights on the pace of the headlights. I mean, okay, they're not doing that. Hence your moat, yes, exactly. Yeah, only VIPs can cross the moat. I've got to keep a lookout just in case there's any more of these stations that aren't shown on the HUD. I think there was a couple more like that when I was doing my little test yesterday. Although I was driving earlier in the morning, I think. I set the timing game to about 9-10 AM, I think. Because originally I was going to do this as one of my morning streams at about 10. But this morning I just thought, oh, I'll just do a train spotting one because there was a lot of things I was doing AFK. Oh, it's another station here. We'll be able to stop in time. If we put the emergency brakes on, we will. Maybe. Oh well, yeah, you can see this is a disused station, obviously. Yeah, you can see this is a disused station by all the windows and everything being closed off. It's quite a nice little station actually, doesn't it? I don't know if much exists of this no more now though. Nice little house over there. Actually, wasn't those mints called Pacers or something? No, was that something else? I know there was some sweets that you could get in the 70s and 80s called Pacer. Were they the mint ones? Or were they something else? Or were they more like sort of like fruit sweets in a wrapper, which were like the hard fruit sweets, if you know what I mean. Anyway, there were Spangles as well. Does anyone remember Spangles? Oh, thought I closed my doors. There we go. The only reason we're moving is because we were going down a slope. The brakes had come off. Right. 15 miles to go. Spangles Ballet. Actually, whenever Carder or someone plays OMSI, because one of the routes that comes with OMSI, I think it's in the Berlin Spandau route or something. Every time I see that, I always see Spandau and always think of Spandau Valley. I think Carter probably gets fed up with me because I think every time he plays it, or, you know, I'll go on his stream and go, oh yes, that reminds me of Spandau Valley, and he's just like, probably. You say that every time I'm playing with CK. Well, not in that voice, but you know what I mean. I think there's the Train Sim Classic, one of the U-Bahn routes also goes there, doesn't it? To Spandau, doesn't it? Something like that. It's like an area of Berlin, isn't it? But Ambergate has got a really cool station in here. Now, obviously, I don't think in reality Ambergate station is like this at all now. It's a bit like some of the stations you see, like when you play Weardale to Teesdale, and then obviously you see some of the stations on there, and they're completely different to how they are these days. But Ambergate is such an amazing station. I sort of think to myself, that would be an amazing station if that was like modern day now, the way it's laid out. But I don't think it's anything like that now. It's probably only like a single platform or something these days. But you'll see when we get there. You'll see what I mean. Is this another station coming up? It probably is, but I don't think we're going to be able to stop there. Is it another disused station? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. A lot of yeah, well, it might not be a station at all. It might have been some sort of freight yard or something. Like I say, there's plenty of places that you can do free roam freights to. You know, you can drive along here, you can take some wagons in here, drop them off, come out again. I think Buxton, if I remember, in the yard had a turntable. So you can use the turntable and everything. So, you know, there's lots of cool opportunities. As I said, it's great if you're going to be doing like a Thomas the Tank Engine story or something based on still images, and you can just sort of like use photo mode just to position yourselves at certain points, or even just put little video sequences together, you know, of the train just going along past some of the scenery on this route. There's another station coming up. You might be able to stop in time. I think this might be Bakewell coming up. I'm not sure though. Don't quote me on it. Yeah, kind of Egbert. Oh, this is, yeah, it is Bakewell. Nice. So this is, I'm guessing this is where the tarts come from. I mean, I might be wrong. You know, it's like Melton Mowbray's, where like they always do the pork pies and things. Well, that's what it's sort of famous for, isn't it? Hopefully this is the same place that's famous for its tarts. You know, this is where Mr. Kipling lives. Let's see if we can find Mr. Kipling. He makes exceedingly good cakes, as if, but anyway. So I bet that's nice at night time, isn't it, all lit up? And as I said, you know, if you set the weather to snowy and then you have like snow here, it must look really cool. This is quite a nice station though, look at the architecture and everything. And obviously the people are all sort of dressed in sort of like more appropriate to the era clothing. I don't know about those windows though. Do you think would they have windows like that then? They look a bit more modern, like that's got double glazing or something. Might be wrong. It's like it's the same sort of windows that are on the Pacer actually, aren't they? Kinda. Like or on a bus. I love the way you got someone that's like their head buried in a newspaper over there. She's really she's really into that newspaper look though. She's really like, oh look, there's me. There's me look when I'm older. With my stick. You always thought Mr. Kipling would look like the Monopoly guy. Yeah, I actually always wondered like what Mr. Kipling would look like. I always think that Del Monte, you know, from I'm going to leave that as is. I'm going to leave that untouched because I'm not bothered about collecting collectibles, and I know once I've gone over that, that's going to vanish. I like the fact that you've got a Bakewell tart in Bakewell, and then as soon as you collect it, it's going to be ruined. But yeah, it's like Del Monte, isn't it? You know, they said the man from Del Monte. I always used to think of him a bit like a bit like one of those characters from Mafia, a bit like a gang, a mafia lord or something. Like Del Monte, you know, like he basically was like owning all the fruit and vegetable places around the world. This is a nice little bus, look. Shame you can't get in it and drive it away though. I mean, it's a very basic model, but you know, you're not. I suppose it's does its job, doesn't it? You know, I suppose you know you don't want it too detailed because then you always get someone that complains about why is the bus so detailed because it's actually, you know, away from the railway track or something. These are quite fun, but I don't know if you've ever been on one of these in the game, but if I remember, you can go inside and then there's like all these, and you can fiddle with the handbrake wheel and stuff, and then you can sit in here. I don't want to sit in there though because it might mess up my free roam, so I'm just not going to sit in that. But you can sit in it and then you can like look out of those little side windows there if you want to, which is quite cool. And then you've got the vacuum brake as well, so that's quite cool. And then also if you want to, you can stand in here, can't you? And then you can just stand here and sit at the back. I think some people do that, don't they, in free roam? They, when they're doing a freight, they can get in here and then sort of pretend that they're the guard at the back or whatever. I think the signal box is closed off here as well, if I remember. The cool thing is, I know that in some of the Blackpool routes that Just Trains do, some of the signal boxes you can go in, so they actually model an interior from. You can't obviously play around with the signals, but you can kind of go inside and get a signalman view of the trains going past. Some of you that might have watched some of my earlier train spotting streams knew I did one from Blackpool like that, where I was standing on the signal box watching the trains go by. It's an old wagon there, that's quite nice. The old houses over there. This is when the music from Emmerdale Farm I'd play in the background. And even though it's not Yorkshire, but you know. Oh look, there's one of those things again. Do you remember these, Egbert? We thought it was like a giant snail. Do you remember? And we were commenting about how small these get over time. You know, this was actually a cotton wheel. But where's Compo? Last of the Summer Wine. Yeah, that's a good one as well, isn't it? That's probably a better one to do. Yeah, unfortunately, unlike 10's TV idents, I don't have the Compo. I should have thought about that better, shouldn't I, really? I didn't come prepared. I should have had it ready to go on my phone, and then I could have just played it. Never mind. Right, let's get back on anyway, and we'll say goodbye to the tarts at Bakewell. Weren't they giant spring shoes? Probably. There's probably lots of things that I've said that we've changed. But anyway, I can't keep up with it all, Egbert, I'm afraid. Actually, let's see what sort of speed we can get up if I just take the brakes off. Let's see. There's a bit of a slope here. Let's see how fast. Let's see how gravity gets on. Let's see what sort of speed we can get up to. This reminds me of SAP scenario where you can kind of freewheel. I think it was, you drove to a certain point and then you had to cut all the engines off and then you had to literally like free roll the whole rest of the way. Something like that. That was a very fun scenario. If you've all got Train Sim Classic, you've never played it, give it a go. Right. It'd be interesting actually, SAP. Because didn't they change the way that, I don't know if you're still here, but if SAP is still here, didn't they change the way that the physics were in Train Sim Classic, because there always used to be that little roll that the trains used to do and they stopped it. So I wonder how that would affect your scenario now, if you played it again. That's quite interesting actually. Be interesting to see if it has an effect. See, look at this, isn't bad. Look, I'm not using up any power or whatever, and we're doing a drifting stream. Where can we drift to today? This is the drifting stream. Here we go. I used to sometimes like doing this in Train Sim, especially on West Coast Main Line over Shap. I would basically cut all the power off on a container train and then let it just go down a slope, and then when it got to the bit with the gradient, I'd see how far it could go before it would start rolling backwards again. Look at this, oh look, it's increasing. This is good. We're getting some nice speed up here now. We'll do a bit of move the camera around. See, this would be great. Imagine that. Imagine this view here of the valley, and then you've got like a steam engine coming along in the distance, and you can see it all the way from over there, and it's coming through that cut-in, and then it comes along there in the distance. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? You could do some really nice photos on this route. And of course, if you've got a good setup and you get one of the mini files where you can draw in like objects from further away, it'd probably look even better. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Look. couldn't have done that better myself. Talk about timing. Wow. Hey Phil, yeah, I was gonna say, like, how are you, Phil? Hope you're well. That's good to hear, Phil. Glad you're getting better. Right, get back to me train. And we're, how fast are we going now? And we're doing 30, but we're going up a slope now, so I don't know how long it'll be before we'll I don't know how long it'll be before we get down to 0 again. So what I'm doing here, Phil, in case you've just popped in, what happened was at the last station there was a bit of a slope. So I said, oh, let's see how fast we can get up to going down the slope. And so I've just been following the thing around. Nearly the end of the week, having a long weekend. Cool. So yeah, this is the Peak Forest route for Train Sim World, and I was just doing a free roam with a pacer on it. So this is the signal box at Haddon. I only know that because it says it on it. I'll probably have to go back into the cab for the tunnel. It's cool that we managed to get quite a good speed up though, and I've not even used any of the, just been idling from that last station. Of course you couldn't do it coming the other way, but oh, is there? That's interesting. You do get that though, don't you? You do get a lot of place names that are similar to the UK ones. Eco Run. Yeah. Not even using up any water or steam or nothing here. Not that it uses it, but you know what I'm getting at. That's one way they could make trains more economically eco-friendly, couldn't they, really? You know, they could basically do it so that if they built a station like thousands and thousands of feet high, right, so when you go to say like King's Cross and then you go up in an elevator and you're almost in space, right, and then the railway station starts up there and then it just goes all the way down a slope to Edinburgh, you wouldn't have to use any power, you could just use gravity to take you all the way to Edinburgh. And then at Edinburgh station they have the station that goes southbound that does exactly the same thing. I think I'm onto something here. Think how much electricity they could save. Yeah, you could just do that, couldn't you? You know, in Penzance they could just have like a big thing that goes up really high up into the sky, and then the trains could just go down a slope to Paddington. It would, you know, send people in tubes. What, a bit like they used to do in the department stores and stuff. You know, where they sent messages around department stores. I remember when I went to a drive-through bank in America, and they still had those. It was like a filling station, but it was actually like a bank. So where you would normally go and fill up, that would be like where you would talk to the teller at the bank, and then you would put your statements or bills or anything in this like plastic tube, and then you would and then it would go through to the person that was sitting in a little office, normally where, you know, like in a filling station where the shop is and that. Literally, that's where the bank tellers would be sitting, like on a sled. Weren't they thinking about doing that somewhere though? I mean, they've got things that are similar to that already, don't they, at Heathrow? I mean, when you go to some of the car parks at Heathrow, they have these like driverless pods that you go in, don't they, that come along, and then you just get in a pod and then it takes you to the terminal. So that's a similar sort of thing, isn't it, really? Oh, I've done it again. Oh, hang on. The train's still moving. CK, put the brakes on. Right. Terrible. There we go. So this is Chatsworth. I'm guessing that's like Chatsworth House and all that sort of stuff. For some reason, I'm also getting that National Lampoons in my head now, Egbert, when they sit on them trays on the top of the hill and then they zoom off with all the flames where they're doing shedding, and then he puts that stuff on his sled, doesn't he, to make it go faster, and he shoots off like he's got afterburners or something. It's a nice little subway there over to the other side. Oh look, she's another person that loves reading the paper. Oh look, they've got an old lady here though, been replaced. The train times, I like that. I always used to think of Tales of the Unexpected being a bit like a train timetable. Oh, he looks happy, doesn't he? Looks like he's been waiting a while for his train. I think whoever made this route must have been like a Liverpool fan or something, because of that poster. Could be wrong though. I could be wrong. Shadow dancing. What's that say? Directed by Mark Asdun, a dev team production. Oh, interesting. Della River, Roman Coco, Harriet Law. It's making me think of the story that I was talking about yesterday. You know, Anorak and was it Hannah Spotter or whatever her name was called? Hannah Spotter, I think it was, wasn't it? Hannah Spotter and Anorak. I might be wrong though. But you can work this as well though, can't you? There you go. So you can open the water valve, I think. Or maybe you can't. Maybe you got to have maybe you got to have a steam engineer for it to work or something, you know. Yeah. I don't think it will make me just waste a load of water, you know. There's a hose pipe ban at the minute. Oh, look over there that they got see, they got a freight consist over there, Egbert. Got a nice little so you got lots. It is like a giant train set if you like steam engines. Hey Stephen, how you doing? So I mean, if you like steam engines, this is like such a good playground for you, isn't it? Really. Hope you're well, Stephen. Just doing a free roam with a pacer, and I'm just doing a bit of exploring at the same time. Reminds me of Logan's Run. Oh yeah, I used to love that film. Sometimes I think they should do what they did in the film today. You know, like when you get to 40, they spin you around and around on a circle, and then they like, and then they like just blow you up with a laser gun or whatever. It's your 40th. Off you go. I'm 40. This would be interesting, free roam shunting. The thing is, you know, when they meet the old guy out of the city, I bet he was only about 45. It's just because he's got a really long beard and white hair. I bet he looked older than what he was. They probably thought he was about 100, but I bet he was only like 45. Because if I don't shave for a few weeks and then I get a beard, I can look about 100 as well. And then all of a sudden I can shave my beard off and I suddenly look about, you know, 21 again. But yeah, that was quite a good film. I used to like Logan's Run. And then they had a TV series as well that was on. And then they used to have like this really weird hover car thing in it, if I remember. And I think there was like an android in it as well, wasn't there? One of the characters was like an android. Yeah, humanoid android. A bit like an earlier version of Data, really. And of course you had the Sandmen or whatever they were called. I don't know why they were called Sandman. I mean, where was the sand from? Right, anyway, here we go. We're watched it loads on my own on my dad's VHS recording, have you? Did you used to just like watching it because of the what's her name was in it? Farrah Fawcett, or was it because of Jenny Agutter was in it? Right, anyway, we're going to carry on because we're still on a downhill here. Might as well just carry on freewheeling down the slopes here. Might as well. Yeah, I'm alright, thanks, Stephen. I'm all good. I see going back on trucks briefly. I see that ProMods released the latest version, but obviously they just fixed a few things in it. They were going to add stuff to it, and then they've decided that they're going to leave that to another build now because the community was so mean in moaning about them taking so long. So then they just brought it out already. So they were like, well, okay, right, this is Rosalie North Junction. So yeah, I'll probably get that at some point, but I didn't want to do it today because I want to kind of do it in the background, because it's like, for me to go back to 1.55 of BTS2 is it's a 20 gig download, and on my internet connection not being very fast, that's like a 2-hour download for me. So it basically means I couldn't do anything much for 2 hours. They must have got, yeah, well that's what they basically said in the statement. I mean, if you can sort of read their statement, and it's basically almost just a nicer way of what you've just said, really. They've just thought, you know, sod it. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, they can, I mean, financially though, it might do them some good business, because they'll get people that will buy the latest version, and then in about a month or two they can release the version they were going to release anyway, but just got held up with it, and then people can pay for that as well, so they'll probably get twice as much money out of it. There's some nice little wagons over here. We've got a steam engine over here. Let's check that out for Egbert over here. Little steam engine. Is that another 4F sitting here? Yeah, 44558. I don't know if they have any named trains on here or anything. Got some brake vans there, all some wagons. You see, they've done Canada. Well, no, I think all they've done is they've just updated it again. I mean, it's still only a tiny bit of Canada though, Stephen. I mean, Canada's pretty big. It's just like they might have just done a little bit more of it. But I don't know what the change log is or what they've actually done though. I mean, they might have only added like a few miles of road or something. I think it was just to make it compatible with 155, to be honest. And then you've also got Middle East as well, but again I think that's just to make it compatible with 155, and they've probably not actually done anything as such. Although the change logs will tell you the real truth there. I was just going to wait for that bundle pack to come out again, but when I looked in the shop earlier, they still only had the bundle pack for the previous version, so they hadn't updated the bundle. Now you could get them separately, but I like to get the bundle pack because then, you know, it saves me a little bit of money. You're just talking about pennies, but you know, I just like to get the bundle pack, so you get all the ATS stuff, the company thing, the Middle East, you know, the ProMods 3TS and that, all in one like price, rather than having to keep getting them separately. I wonder what crops these are. This is seasonal as well, this route, so obviously when you go to different times of year they have different things going on. Managed to get 22 miles an hour out of this though. It's not bad, is it? Anyway, we've only got 9 miles to go anyway, so I'm just trying to make the stream last a bit longer. But anyway, it was good that we managed to steer a couple of steam engines. That's nice. It was sort of a freight and a passenger. I think I'm still running 155 for ATS anyway. I didn't need to go back. I didn't need to roll that one back. What is the time now anyway? 1:19. I was thinking about maybe doing an ETS stream later today. once I'm finished with this stream. I'll just have a quick couple or whatever. I was going to do a bus stream today. Oh, there's another one. This is quite a good time of day to go, really, isn't it? Because I went at 10 yesterday in the free roam and I only passed like 2 steam engines. We've passed 3 today, so that's good. So I picked a good time of day to do the free roam. So there's a few more trains running. It would probably make sense as well, because if some of the trains are coming up from London, they take a few hours to get up. Well, maybe two hours or so, I suppose, from London to get up to this part of the world. So maybe doing an earlier time meant that there was less trains running, but now obviously there's trains running in between all the places, if that makes sense. You know, it's a bit like if you do ECML and you're standing at Doncaster station at 7 in the morning, you're not exactly going to see loads of trains coming through from London at 7 in the morning, because they're still making their way up from London, aren't they? But if you go to Doncaster at, say, lunchtime, then obviously it's a bit busier. Well, that's how I'm thinking anyway. Right, what station is this one? This is something Dale station. Right, I might have to use a bit of engine power when we leave here now, because yeah, Darley Dale. That sounds a bit like a character from a comic book, isn't it? It was wasn't there Dale in Flash Gordon? Was it Dale Arden or something? She was like a reporter? And then you also had in another. There's also another comic that's got someone with Dale in it. Can't remember though. Wasn't one of the Batman films had Kim Basinger playing somebody that had Dale in it or something? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just babbling. A lot of Morris Miners here though. Oh look, they've even got the level crossing all sorted out. There's the red phone box. Unfortunately you can't go in it, but you can have a look in it though. I wonder how many of you remember these. Probably. Oh look, I'm holding up a train. Oops. Oh dear. Looks like I'm holding a train up, everybody. I think coming here was the perfect time. Look at that. I wonder what train that is. Let's have a look on the map. Which one is that? That is the oh, it doesn't really say. It just says Manchester to London. But I don't know when. Was it due in here? Let's have a look. No, it probably wasn't. It's probably an express. That's you. Yeah, getting frustrated probably. Shall we have a quick look at the train while we're here? See what number it is. You know, some of you might want to write the number down. I could make it exciting and uncouple all the coaches, couldn't I? But that's mean. I don't think I should do that. 45553. Oh, it got a lady driver today. Let's just pop up here. Oh, look at that. We've got an all female crew today. How fantastic is that? Even, you know, that's pretty good going. Right. Got Lisa and Katie driving today. Egbert, what happened to you? Are you sitting in here having a good time in first class? Anyway, they'll have to wait a bit longer, won't they? Probably the only time they do, Egbert. Oh look, it's got a name. It's called Canada. That's good. There we go. It's actually got a name. Oh, there we go. I missed it the first time around. There we go. Right, we better get back to the train then, because, I mean, you know, it's terrible that I'm holding up this train. I hope there's not one behind that as well. This is what I like about free roam, you see. You can just, you know, you can just cause chaos. Right then, anyway, next station then. Actually, what I'll do is I'm just going to drive off quite slowly, and then just so that we can watch the other train come through the station. I think that would be quite cool. So we'll get going here, but I'll drive quite slow. Just enough just to get some momentum going. So we'll just put it into number 1, I think. There we go. And then we can watch the other train come through the station. Maybe we'll go and shall we do the signal box view here? It's quite a nice view in it from like here maybe. Or maybe just here. Yeah, here'll do. Maybe I can just put it onto 2 maybe. Otherwise it might take forever. There you go, that's better. Do you require any extra mods? No, not at all, Egbert. I'm only doing the pacer because I've got a DLC with the pacer in it, but if I didn't have any other stuff for TSW, then you can just plonk down whatever. So if you only had this route in TSW, which you wouldn't do, then you could just use free roam with the things that come with the route. So it would be the steam engines that come with the route, for example. You could then free roam with. Free roam is part of the game. So whatever trains you got, you can just put down, really. You can put down wagons, so any wagons that come with the route you can put down. If you've got wagons from other routes, you can put them down. That's why I said about Thomas the Tank Engine. If you had the Thomas the Tank Engine DLC, you could put Thomas and those other assets that come with Thomas down. So there we go, the level crossing's about to shut again. Not much of a puff though, was there really? Right, let's get back to the train then. Steam sounds on mute. Yeah, I think how it works is that a lot of the trains, if they're AI, they don't really use the physics engine that much, because otherwise if you have all the trains using the physics, then the frames would really be hit. Because so then what they do is if you're not driving a train, it doesn't tend to apply the physics to them as much. So for example, if you're for example on this, so say for example an AI was driving this pacer, then you don't see the cab swaying and bouncing so much. It's only when you're driving it you see it. So it's probably because of the fact that because you're not driving the steam engine, it doesn't do all the stuff that makes it all do the, you know, all the sounds. So it's just basically just running, you know, a bit like what happens in Train Sim Classic. I mean, when you run Train Sim Classic, the trains kind of have a different physics, don't they? They have a physics for the train, and if you're driving it, and then they have a physics thing going on if you're not driving it. Which is why when you drive a Voyager in Train Sim Classic, you know, it accelerates quite slow, but then when you have it set as AI, it zooms off at about 100 miles an hour, you know, as if it's like doing 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds or something. Whereas when you're driving it, then it's not. But it makes sense, because if you had all the physics for all the trains running, then the game would run really slow, wouldn't it? So there's no point having it on if it's just running in the background. It's probably when it gets to a certain speed that the sounds might come on properly. But when you're driving the train itself, then obviously it will sound differently. I mean, you've done it yourself when you've driven, is it the Flying Scotsman you did in the stream, didn't you? You drove that, for example. You'd have to have a look at this route in TSW though, in the Steam description, to see what locos this comes with. Because there might be some steam engines that are in this route that you can see at the minute that might not actually come with the route. They might be extra ones that it's put in. But I think more or less the route itself comes with 2 steam engines. So this is Matlock. That's quite nice, doesn't it? Again, you've got some areas where you've got some wagons, or you can put your own wagons down. Like I say, you could do some shunting in between stations and stuff. It's a nice little signal box there. I doubt if it's like that these days, is it? Thought for a minute she had headphones on. I thought, wow, that's good. They're still here, look, reading the paper. It's funny, I think they're like following me around to every station. This reminds me of, where does this remind me of? This reminds me of Teignmouth, in a way, because when you come out of Teignmouth, don't you, you go straight into a tunnel, and all the station has got like a wall like that, hasn't it, at Teignmouth? Kinda. Similar. Just that bit that makes me think of Teignmouth. But anyway. But it's as if the station's back to front, if you know what I mean. Passengers must not cross the line except by means of the footbridge. Quite a nice little footbridge here. Can go in here as well. There we go. So we're down here now at Matlock. So we're getting down to the end now. Although in another stream I'm going to go from Ambergate and then we're going to go up to Chinley. So we started from Buxton today, so we're going to do this little bit here that goes up through Peak Forest as well. So that'll be for another day. Yeah, some nice little bits and pieces here. Just have a quick look. I hope that's going to stop at that signal. Hey, that's quite funny considering how slow I was going in the pacer. I'm surprised that that train wasn't already waiting at the signal. I thought it would already be there waiting. I didn't realise that I'd be here for 5 minutes before it showed up. That's why I came up here, because I thought, well, it's not. You just don't know what things are interactive or not, really. But yeah, it's not a bad route though. It's as I said, it's great if you love your Steam era stuff. It's not a bad length either, really. I mean, Buxton to Ambergate was about 20 miles, wasn't it, nearly? So the bit from Chinley's probably, I don't know how far extra it is. It must be about, what, 30 miles in total? Maybe? From A to B? Or add a bit more if you're going from like one of the yards outside of Ambergate. Right, we'll get back on the train again though. Actually, once I get on the train, I'll have a quick look. I've got a feeling that this train might stop here. That one behind, I'm not sure. But I'm sure this will probably be one of the stations that it would have stopped at. So we can have a quick look at the departure board, which you can do in, since TSW5, you can go over a platform. Oh, okay, so that train doesn't stop here. So, yeah. So that train behind would have gone through as well. Right, let's keep going. I think the next station is the Bath, isn't it? Is it? Matlock Bath. So if you wanted a bath, that's where you went. This bit here also reminds me a bit of when you come out of Bath and you head towards Westbury from Bath, and then you go through like these tunnels, and then there's like well, they're not tunnels, they're more like road bridges, but then on the left hand side there's like a park, so you can sit in the park and watch the trains go past. That's quite nice. I've sometimes seen some YouTube videos where people have watched the trains go past in that park. Sydney Gardens, thank you, Egbert. Yeah, you knew what I was on about. At least somebody knows what I'm going on about. So this is quite nice here. But I also remember from the Just Trains route, this bit was quite nice here as well. I know there was like a few canal boats and that used to be around as well, because you were going past down some canals. See, the old steam engine will be coming along through here soon. So like I said, you could do free roam, and then you could just, you know, do like a train spotted stream, although the schedule's not very good, but you could just go around and then you could just set up and just do little video sequences, or you could put your own train down in free roam and then you could literally just drive it along. You know, you could put lots of different trains down, couldn't you, and then you could just have them driving along past the camera, and then you could just delete them, spawn new trains in, and then you could just keep making up new sequences if you wanted. There's a lot of things you can do in this, and there's also a free roam mode where you don't have a timetable running, so then you don't hold up any trains, so you basically have the whole route empty, and then you can put down what you want anywhere. So then you can there is a consist editor, yes, Egbert, and I think if you go online, I think to the Creators Club, I think there's consists that you can download that other people have done. So if you wanted to make your own trains up, you can. I'll show you a bit of it later, actually. Oh, there's another train as well. Look at this. I'm having a good day today. I'm so glad I did it this time of day now, because as I said, I did this yesterday really early in the morning and I hardly passed any steam engines. Now I'm doing it later on in the day and there's quite a few. So this must be Matlock Bath. Yeah, this is Matlock Bath. I can't see a bath anywhere. If anyone can see a bath, let me know. I suppose this might be the bath in here. Maybe this is the bath. Is there a signal box just outside? No. That's a shame. So we're not going to see the train come out through a tunnel and wait for me or anything. So this is not a bad little station, is it really? Like I say, and then there's all these little areas, you know, you can go off into sidings. There's some like little sidings here that you can go into. So much you could do with this route if you were just wanting to play around with it like a train set. Compost sat in it, probably going down the hill. Oh look, we are on a downhill section again actually, so we can actually we can go again. Right, let's just let the train roll down the hill on its own. There we go, off it goes. And then what we'll do is we'll sit up here and then wait for the steam engine to come past again. I know I'm being a bit boring or nerdy. I'm just trying to make the stream last quite a nice time really. It's very lovely with her little gloves on there. Oh, here it comes. There must have been a signal up there then. I don't know where it was. Where's the signal? Where's the signal for that then? I can't see it. Am I missing something? Where's the signal? How does it know how to stop there? How does it know where to stop? How does that work? How's it knowing that there's a signal there? That's really weird. Left? What do you mean left? What, you mean this one? That can't be the signal for that. Oh, okay. Too close to the hill. They've even got like one of those signals there as well. Weird. Oh, you mean this signal's for this? But they've placed it there because of the hill. Is that what you mean? Is that what you're trying to say? That this signal here is for this? Yeah, okay, I've got you. Yeah, because it's facing, because of the direction it's facing. Because if it was supposed to be for this side, then the arm would be to the left of it, if you know what I mean. I see what you mean now. Is that what they used to do then? I didn't know they did that. I've learnt something today. I've learnt something today. Phil, probably players said the sea come. Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you're saying now. I get what you're saying now. A bit like they have signals like that, obviously on modern railways, where they just have like a little signal to sort of indicate what the signal round the corner is going to be. See, I'm thinking of that with my non-train expert head on, whereas I know some of you that know more about it would obviously say it, and then obviously from what you say it makes sense. So yeah, and also because you'd be trained to work this route, you'd have route knowledge to know that signal was like that when you come out that tunnel, so it wouldn't be like a surprise. It's not like me going, oh, where's the signal? Because, you know, if you had route knowledge, you'd know that signal was like that already. Just like I'll probably, you know, whenever I play this route now, I'll remember that and think, yeah, that signal's there because of that. It was a bit like in another stream when when we were talking about a tunnel on the Kent high speed line. And why it was kind of like you had one short tunnel and then you had one long tunnel and then you had a break of like a few meters, well, about 50 meters or so before it went into a tunnel again. And then I looked it up, and it used to be a canal years ago, and then they took the canal away. So basically it was waterways, and it was just basically where the canal had that gap in it to let other boats pass, because I think it was just wide enough basically one canal boat or whatever. So they used to have like a passing point, so other canal boats could pass. And then when they got rid of the canal, then they used it as a railway line, and then obviously the tunnels were still as they were. So again, it's interesting because you spot things in game, and then people question it, and then obviously you can just look it up on Wikipedia or whatever, and then you can find out answers to stuff of why that's like that. Yeah, I remember that from with Captain Jenks, because obviously Captain Jenks was always going on about how the GWR stuff, the driver was on the other side, and things like that. You know, because whenever you drive GWR, you're driving on the other side. Yeah, there's a little hut there. You can probably, that's probably like a collectible, but I'm not touching it. I can imagine if Tepic was playing this now, he'd be running around everywhere collecting things. So this is Cromford. This is not in Essex. That's Romford. This is like another version. I wonder if the steam engine's in the tunnel. See, where's the steam engine? It's very slow. Isn't it really? Right, we're still on the slope here. So that's quite a nice little station building, isn't it? Sort of reminds you of a church, doesn't it, in a way? With a little spire there. I like the way everyone's just sitting there with their arms folded. I don't know if it's because they've got to go on a pacer and so they don't want to. I mean, I don't blame them really. I mean, if I had a choice between going on here or sitting on a Mark 1 coach, I'd probably sit in a Mark 1 coach. I think these passengers would be horrified, wouldn't they, really, if they were so used to their trains and then this came in with these seats, and then basically there was like a salesman standing on the platform telling everybody that this is the future of this is what the trains in the 1980s are going to be like. I think they'd be a bit shocked. Be smoked out if it's sat in a tunnel. Yeah, another good point there, see, Egbert, see. Yeah. Yeah, you see, you're thinking steam, you see, I don't, see. You think, you've got your steam head on. You see, I don't think like that. Come on, you're going to go any faster? Come on, we're going down a slope. I mean, nobody even wants to go on it. I mean, I can understand that. Oh, look, is this a football pitch here? Wow, look at that. They've even got this must be a very big football stadium back in the day. They've even got a grandstand. Look at this. And you need a telescope to watch the game from here because you're sitting in the stand. Is this Swindon? This is like, I need to play the Thomas the Tank Engine music. Ding 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 ding. I've got no idea why they got a stadium there. That's quite funny. And as I said, it's like miles away from the pitch as well. I always wonder what goes through people's heads sometimes when they make things. I don't mean that in a bad way. We've got another signal box up here. Look, we're getting some speed up now, look. We're getting some speed up now. We're getting some serious speed up now. This is Cromford Sidings. Oh. There's the steam engine coming out. The hungry caterpillar. Yeah. I'll have to make it a 4-car the next time, Egbert, and then the next stream after an 8-car, and then a 16, and then a 32, and a 64, and then you'll be like going, hungry caterpillar's growing. 130 cars or whatever it is, and then in about a month's time it'll be like a 500-car pacer. Because I mean, you can do that in Consist Manager if you wanted to. You could literally join up a whole load. Is Egbert waiting at the wall with his camera? His little handy cam. Or back in the day, it'd be like a film thing, wouldn't it? With him holding it with his little film camera. I like the way she's like looking out the window then, that was pretty cool. I can even hear water. I can hear trickling water somewhere. Is it from here? Yeah. You might not be able to hear it yourselves, but I can just about pick it up. The sound of the water, like trickling. So this has turned out better than what I thought, actually, because as I said, I wasn't sure what to expect doing the free roam. Canada Chaser. Very good. Right, what should I do? Should I wait here and wait for it to move, or should I go back to my train? Let me know what you think. Because I don't know how long it is before the next signal. Be funny if we start rolling backwards in a minute. Can you imagine it if we were going up a slope now, right? And then the pacer slows down and starts reversing backwards, and I'm sitting here watching this, and all of a sudden the pacer sort of like, you just see the back end of the pacer hitting the hitting the train and derailing. That'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it? I love the little animation where they sometimes will look out the window. That's really quite cool. I like that, especially if you want to do some screenshots or something. At least there's people sitting on these trains. There we go. I had to load in the scenery there. Right, let's put the screen back up. So we're 2.7 miles from Ambergate. I wonder what the public announcement will do. We're now approaching Blackpool. We're now approaching Preston. That's not a very good Thomas Harrison voice there, by the way. We're now approaching Ambergate. Oh dear. Don't know why you guys put up with me, to be honest. Oh look, there's a road up there. Realise. And like I said, there's plenty of nice little scenic spots along here. I mean, this is quite a nice little place to take a screenshot. You've got that nice little building there, must be industrial, with some some vans outside. What station's this? This is What Standwell, or I think that's what it says. What Standwell? What Standwell? I don't know. But oh, we got gravity slowing us down now. Let's see if gravity can make us stop in the station. I doubt it, but you never know. I'm doing 17 now. I think I might have to use the brakes here. I don't think it's going to be enough to make us go to a standstill. I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to do the ETS bus stream tomorrow. I think. Right, let's have a quick look here. I like the way, as I started walking towards that person, they started folding their arms. If this route was a bit busier, I'd probably do this route as one of the train spotting routes, you know, just set up a camera somewhere and just watch the steam engines go by. But because sometimes I think there'd be a long wait between them, I think people would get a bit fed up waiting. You know, you might only get like 1 or 2 trains an hour, if that. You know, but sometimes when you're watching the rail cams, you know, the live cams, it can be like that. Train maybe 2 hours late. Probably. But I'm not bothered. Actually, let's have a look though. Let's see if there's any more behind it. See, that one's here. Is there any other trains behind though? Yes, there is. There's another one joining in at the back now. So that's 2. There's 2 trains held up behind me now. Well, at least when I go into the sidings at the end, we'll see some trains go by. That one's not so long, that one. It's only a few coaches, that one. That's the Manchester Central to London St Pancras one. Anyway, let's get back on then. See, this is the future of rail travel right here, you see. I've put my foot down a bit. We've only got 1.8 miles now to the end station. Right, I'll just leave it in 2 and then we'll see if we can see these other trains come past. See if we can see these other 2 trains go past. We'll sort of like pretend we're standing on the footbridge waiting excitedly for the trains to come past. Depends where the signal is actually. I don't know where the signal is for this. It'd be interesting to see what the other train is though. See if it's got a name on it. I'm liking that trickling water sound now. I know you probably can't hear it very well, but it kind of reminds me of, like, you know when you get an aquarium and you've got like an aquarium with tropical fish in it, and you've got like the tank pump running, and it's kind of like that sound that you hear. Or a little stream, you know, like a tiny little one. I do love that sort of sound. Right, I'm gonna cheat a bit, because I think the train's I might be between the signal blocks. So I just want to see what this other train is behind. Oh, there's the other one. Let's see what this one is. Oh, this is Anson. That's what this one is. We've got oh, there's Egbert. Egbert, you're in the wrong train. You're in the one behind. I wonder if that actually goes down over time. Well, you're not going anywhere, Egbert. Every time it does that, I always keep thinking the game's going to crash. Right, we're just going along beside the road. Yeah, I think what they did is they did their research. So depending on what train steam engine spawns in and what number it is, it has the proper name for it. So in a way, if you were doing a train spotting stream, you could kind of stand at a platform and then you could write down all the names of all the different steam engines when they come past and say, oh, I've seen Anson, I've seen Canada. Because I mean, that's what it's like basically, isn't it? Because it's like, because if you do this, if I run this, if I restarted this now and had exactly the same time of day and everything, the train that's probably going to be behind me isn't going to be called Canada. It will just spawn a different one, so it could be a different, it will have a different name and everything. Because that's how it works. It doesn't just spawn the same train over and over. It just goes, well, I need to spawn in a Jubilee class, and then it'll just spawn in any Jubilee class. So you could do this tomorrow and it'll be a completely different train. That's the same for any of my train spotting streams. You literally have a different number of train that goes past at the same time of day. So you could be on Southeastern high speed and you could watch a train go into Chatham at 2 o'clock, and it could be the 395 with the rainbow livery, and then you could run the same timetable again, and at 2 o'clock it would be a completely different 395. Oh, we got another train waiting here. That's good. Looks like we've got a oh, I think I might have put too much on the brakes. See, this is what I mean about this station though. Look how cool it is. It's like, oh, I mean, it's amazing. I don't know if it's like that now. I mean, it has all these like junctions, and then there's like 2 platforms on each side. You've got 2 platforms here, 2 platforms on the other side, and then 2 on that side. I mean, I'd love to know what Ambergate looks like these days. Now I don't know what's going to happen with these trains. Are those London trains going to go this way, or are they going my way? Imagine making that in double O gauge. Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see what it's like today, though. I mean, is it just? Would it just be like a station with just two platforms now? Got no idea. I could always look it up, I suppose. You see, what I can't understand is, though, right, is... Oh, I suppose they go this way. So I suppose you've got to go down here, and then you've got to go... Wow, that's a bit of a walk, isn't it? Because you can't seem to get out the station here. So you have to do like a really long walk, and then walk around. Oh, is it going that way? Oh, here we go, it's going this way anyway. Oh, it looks like it might be stopping here, actually. Let's see what time it was due in. Oh, delayed by 35 minutes. There we go. So I made it 35 minutes late. Did anybody get off? Oh, a few people are getting off. Oh, that's good. At least I don't have to put up with me holding them up any longer. It'd be good though if they actually would whistle when they left. That'd be quite cool. It's amazing how cheap these were in the olden days as well, Egbert. I mean, this train only cost 6p. Look, it says 6p on it. It's amazing. It's amazing how cheap they are nowadays. Back then. I mean, imagine it. I bet you can't even get the Hornby version of this for 6p. Yeah. Yeah, that would be if it was. This would be like GTA, wouldn't it? This was Grand Theft Auto. They'd sort of like be dragging me out of the cab now and punching me on the floor. The only thing that's missing is a buffet car. I wonder if someone will do a Creators Club livery of the buffet car actually, in that colour schemes. Is this the Blood and Custard, isn't it? This one that's called? The colours? Is it Blood and Custard? I can't remember. Is that what they're called? Blood and Custard? No, it's not blood. It can't be Blood and Custard, can it? Colour, what do they call it? Cream and custard? No, I don't know. What do they call it? I mean, it's got a name, innit? It's not Blood and Custard. Oh, rhubarb and cream. No, I don't know. Just maroon. No, there are. Isn't there like some coaches though that have got white cream in them and then the red, and then they get called like Blood and Custard or something, or whatever it is? Because like when you go to like AP and that, or you go to like the train sim sites to download it, it will always say something with custard or whatever it is. Blood and Custard. Does it? That's probably what I'm thinking of then. because you download like a livery pack and it'll say these Mark 1s are in this colour scheme or something, blood and custard. Yeah, it's probably because I'm saying blood and then I'm like thinking that doesn't sound right because it's blood. But yeah, I know these ones are maroon, but there's some other ones that are red coloured, but I think they've got more sort of like cream in them. And I was trying to think of the name of it. But when you get some of the AP packs, they have like the name of it, all the different colours, schemes or something. But anyway, right. Anyway, let's get going back to where we're going because I've got to end this properly. See, I'm all for realism, you know. I'm all for realism. Right. Anyway, where should we go to? Set path. We got to go into this yard over here. So we're parked next to these aggregates, I think. Because can I not go that way then? Why is that? Why can't I go that way? That's a bit mean. Why won't it let me go that way? Can I? Can I not go there? Oh, that's a bit rubbishy, isn't it? I suppose it's because you can't get down to there, can you? Oh. Well, that's not good. Where am I going to park? I want to park my train. I could park it in here, I suppose, couldn't I? Yeah, we'll park it here. I suppose I'll have to do. This has certainly been real. Well, thank you, Egbert. It's actually been quite good fun, really. I know, obviously, like I say, some people probably would like me to have driven a steam engine, but the only thing I'm worried about is if I drive a steam engine, the stream would have only lasted about 10 minutes and then something would have happened. So, yeah, I was just thinking about how long the stream would last for before it went completely wrong. It was a bit like the train spotting stream earlier. Those of you who didn't see it, I basically was sitting in a shunter that was on some disused piece of track. It had weeds and everything on it. And so I thought, well, I'm going to drive the shunter to finish the stream. And I kind of knew that at some point that track would probably not lead to anywhere because it was just a disused piece of track. But the thing was, I couldn't see where the track was ending because it was so like weeded up that when the train derailed, I wasn't expecting it to derail there because I thought it might have gone a little bit further, but because you couldn't really see where the track was anymore because it was just so bad, as in had loads of weeds all over it, so you couldn't really see the rails at all. In a way, I was kind of hoping it was actually going to go on into a set of points and then go onto the main line or something, but it didn't. But it's all part of the fun. So yeah, you could start from over here and probably hook up those wagons. You've got to be careful though, because sometimes there might be a service where you've actually got to drive a freight train to pick those wagons up, and if you take them away when you're playing in free roam, you might find that it messes up things later on because maybe there's a train that's supposed to be picking them up and then they're not there anymore. So maybe sometimes it's best just to put your own wagons down, and then if you're doing a stream, then obviously no one's going to know that those wagons weren't what you put down, and then you could start from with your steam engine, and then you could go, right, let's go and connect up to these wagons, and obviously it's not going to interfere with anything because they're your wagons, if that makes sense. It's a bit like in the West Coast Mainline train spotting stream I did the other day, and I was sitting in a Class 47. Now what I did is I went round each train to sit in it, and then it will tell you what time the service is, what time it's going to be used. Now that Class 47 wasn't going to move from that side until 7 o'clock in game, so when it reached about 7 o'clock that train would go off and do something. So I thought, well, that's alright. So I can sit in that for the whole stream, and I know it's not going to drive away. Whereas if I'd sat in the class 40, then obviously I'd have had the cam set up, and then the cam would have started moving on its own, because then it's linked to the class 40. Or it'll be expecting me to drive that service at 2 o'clock or whatever it was, and then it would have all messed up, because then I would have been like, because that train, you know, you had to do certain tasks with it. So then if you don't do those tasks, then obviously it would have told me after a while. It would have said, does AI want to take control of the train? But then it would have messed up my camera. So anyway, it looks like we're coming up to the end here. Now normally what I would sometimes do is be a bit silly and drive into the wall, but I don't want the train to derail just yet. So I'll park properly by the buffers here, because otherwise it'll just end the situation, and then I'll end up going back to the main menu or whatever it wants to do. So we'll just do that. I can probably touch it lightly, maybe. No, I might even miss that actually. Right, anyway, so let's go here. Let's have a quick look at the map, and then just see if there's anything else coming. As I said, I will be doing a free roam another day, but we'll be starting from here. So I'll probably start in the same place for the free roam actually, and then go back up the line. We started at Buxton, so Buxton is here, so we started from Buxton here. But next time what we'll be doing is we'll be driving along, and then we'll be going up this part of track, and then we'll be going on. So there's a bit here with a crossover, that's interesting. I don't know if you'll get any other steam engines going past at that point. Probably not. I don't even know what line that would be. But we're going to be going up to... oh, that's not Chinley. So you can see there's still quite a lot of track left to explore. So then we're going to go all the way up to the top here, I think, which might be Chinley. Oh no, that's... is that Chinley? No, Glowhole. Oh, Go Hole, or whatever it's called. I don't know where the station is. Oh, it's here. So that's no, that's not where it is. I don't know where we're going then. But anyway, it might be here somewhere. There's a station somewhere. Maybe it's before here, probably somewhere. But we'll be driving all the way up to these sidings anyway. So I'll park the train in the siding, probably in here, possibly something like that. Anyway. So yeah, I think that's going to be the end of the stream. I think I'm just going to have a quick look here. I don't think there's any more trains coming. I was just looking to see if there's any trains coming down the track, but I don't think there will be. Now of course the trains can come through a portal here, or they can also go through a portal here as well, but doesn't seem to be anything. So yeah, anyway, I think that'll be the end of the stream for now then. Hope you enjoyed my little journey along the Peak Forest Route DLC. I enjoyed it. It was quite nice seeing some of the stations, although as always there will be, yeah, exactly, but as always there'll be more to explore. This is only part of the route that we've explored, so we can have a look at the other stations, go in the other direction. I think what I might do for the next free roam is, because we've already stopped at these stations going up, I might do it like a fast train going up to the station where we're starting new from. I don't know yet. Although, to be honest, there might be people that have not seen this stream and might like me stopping at the stations on the way up as well. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to just play it as we go. That's the nice thing about this, is that in free roam you can basically do what you wish, really. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I was going to do a stream today, but I think we're running out of time, but I'll see how I feel. So just keep an eye out. You know, I might get to a bit later this afternoon and do an ETS2 stream, but if not, that'll probably be tomorrow. No worries, Egbert, been a lovely stream. Yeah, no worries. Thanks Phil for popping in, and other people that have popped in as well. Carter, a think it was Katie was in earlier, wasn't she? Raskable was in, Stephen Wiley was in as well. He might still be lurking, so thanks Stephen, thanks Raskable. Anyone else that I might have missed? I think I've mentioned you already, Phil. So yeah, anyway, I'll see you all later. That was fun. Yeah, no worries, Phil. Yeah, it's just a bit different. As I said, free roam is quite a cool thing in TSW. You can do a lot of things with it. As I said, you can either run trains on a timetable, so all the trains that run in the background with you, or you can basically just do a free roam where you can do your thing. Another thing I want to just quickly show actually before I go is, Egbert, you brought up about you can make consists and stuff. I might be on later if you fancy a wash. Well, if you were going to do a stream, then that might help me chill out a bit. I don't know what sort of stream you were going to do. Maybe you were going to be doing trucks again, or if you were going to be doing train sim or whatever. But I don't want you to feel like you know you have to stream just because I'm anyway. So yeah, what you can do is you can go to I can't remember where it is. I think it might be in Creators Club. Yeah, there we go. We get a formation designer, so you can do like egg vans, for example. That was one that I did before, but we'll do a new one, for example. So I could do like add a new one, and we'll call it like test. So you can go in here and then you can do confirm, and then you can literally go in here and then you can add custom or official. So you can go add custom, one you've done before, or you can add official, and then you come to screen and you can search for train. So I don't know, let's have a look at 4F, for example. So you've got 4F here, and then you can, so it can add it in, and then you can example then go behind, and then you can add like the tender, and then you can just go through here, a bit like what you do in Train Simulator when you go into the so now, oh, it already had a tender, so I've now added another one, but now I can, if I want to, I can delete the tender, so I can remove it, yeah, and then I can add like add official, so I can add some coaches if I want to. So we're adding RMB, even though this isn't actually a real, this would actually work, but I can sort of show you that you can so you can add like another train, and then you can add more of these if you want to, so then you can copy them, so then I can do like loads of them, so then, and then I could save that if I wanted to as a consist, and then when it goes, and then I could plonk it down in the game and it would be like that. Do you get what I mean? But you can literally just go through the search and you could go add official, and then you could look for a wagon. So I don't know what sort of wagon you could do. You know, if you knew what the wagons were called, you could probably look like an LPC LMS plank wagon, and then you could like select that. So now it's put down a plank wagon, so we could get rid of these, for example, and that's how it works. And then I think you can share them as well, so other people can have them as well if they want to. So now I've added a wagon, but then I could add like more of these, if you get what I mean. Just keep adding more and more of them, so then suddenly you've made a train up, and then you can save it, and then you would then, and then you could literally just like when you choose the train in the game, so you could, if you called this like, I don't know, egg 1 or whatever, then when you're choosing a foul or 4F in the game in free roam, you could just choose it with a formation, and then you could load it up, and then the game would then come in with your wagons all set up, if you know what I mean. So that's how you can do it anyway, but you can share them in the community as well, I think, so people can download them. So I've made a few here. I've got an egg train, for example, I've got a BR101, I think, which I did, which was a train I was doing. Yeah, that was a train that I made look for a laugh. So I did a BR101, but then put loads of Mark 1s behind it. So you can see. I'm trying to remember how you can zoom out, but anyway. I just got to remember how the keys work, but you can, as I said, mess about with it. So there was this other one I did as well. So that was like resilient, and then I had, oh, that was right. Then I had some Virgin coaches on it that I put. It was just to do like free roam if I wanted to do London to Brighton free roam, but with a Virgin cross country service, and then I already had the trains already, you know, all the coaches already done, if you know what I mean. So they're already like got a consist of coaches there. So we got the first class at the front and then the second class behind. So, you know, that's basically the sort of things you can do. So you can make some really crazy consists up. You could like make up like a train with hundreds of carriages or wagons or whatever, and then you'd probably struggle going up the Shap, you know. So you could do a steam engine with loads of wagons and then see how well it goes up the West Coast main line over Shap in a free roam or whatever. Anyway, so I think you can put them on the sharing hub, if I remember. But I can't remember where you get hold of them, but anyway. But that's basically how that works. Right, anyway, I'm going to definitely shoot off now. So, yeah, right, I'll see you all later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in another stream. Bye for now.